Welcome to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be talking about my weekly fragrance rotation, but before we get into the video, I want you to hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below on what your weekly rotation was. So on Wednesday I started out with Acqua di Parma Colonia Essenza. This is a fragrance that I'm actually going to be doing a review on fairly soon. This is a really nice soapy citrus fragrance, and it's actually one that I enjoy wearing quite a bit. And right now I haven't really smelt a lot from the line, but so far this is definitely my favorite. It's very easy and wearable. It's something that's really good for the warmer weather because it does have that nice citrus and that nice soapy accord as well. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but that is what I wore on Wednesday. On Thursday I wore Excellent Le Musc Intense by Parfums Vintage. This is basically designed to be an intense version of Bleecker Street, and I have to say that that's pretty much what it is. I'm probably going to be doing a comparison video of this one as well with Bleecker Street and some other clones of Bleecker Street. But this really is an amped up blueberry. So if you like that blueberry note in Bleecker Street, but you want more of it, this is definitely something you should check out. It does smell very nice. It has a very strong blueberry. It maintains a lot of that greenness and that freshness that is in Bleecker Street. So I think it's a really well done kind of intense version by Parfums Vintage, and I do actually enjoy that one quite a bit as well. So that's what I wore on Thursday. On Friday I wore Zion by Alexandria Fragrances, and this is a clone of Roja Dove's Elysium. I do really love Elysium, and it has a certain kind of classiness that I find a lot of the clones do miss just a little bit, even if they're really close, and Zion is of course really very close. The biggest problem I find with Elysium is I don't get very good performance. So Zion by Alexandria Fragrances to me smells very close to Elysium, but of course it gets better performance for me. And so I like that, and I do like that one a lot. And yeah, I enjoy wearing it. It's very fresh, very uplifting. It has a very nice kind of almost lemonade-like opening. There's a very nice lemon citrusy opening there. It does linger for quite some time, and that fresh vetiver is present for a long time as well, and it gets really good performance for me. So I really enjoyed that one, and that is Zion by Alexandria Fragrances. On Saturday I wore Crypto Mint, and this is one that I actually put in my top 10 designer list for the summer. This one really does smell like a Girl Guides cookie to me, so if you like those chocolate mint cookies, this is probably the fragrance for you. It's really nice. It has a very nice minty note, and it is a little bit different for summer because I find a lot of gourmand fragrances are just not really wearable in the summer because they get too sweet, they become too cloying. But at least for Crypto Mint I find that that's not really the case, and it does smell really nice and fresh. It has this really punchy mint accompanied with chocolate, and the dry down is a really nice chocolatey gourmandish fragrance as well. I do enjoy that one a lot as well. That's one I actually would consider picking up a bottle of from the line, but we'll see what happens. On Sunday I wore Encre Noire Sport by Lalique. And before I actually get into it, the one thing I realized when I did a review of this one, I didn't realize, at least when I bought it, the cap does clip on. And I bought it, and the cap was only on like this, and I didn't realize it actually clips fully on. So you know what? You can hold this one by the cap, but I don't know, be careful. It's a pretty heavy bottle. Anyways, I wore this one, and I do enjoy it. It's a little bit different for a summer fragrance. It's definitely has a darker aspect to it. There's a wateriness in there, but it isn't aquatic really. It's not sweet. It's not particularly citrusy. There are some citrus in it, but I don't really pick up with them at all. It's a vetiver bomb. And I really like this sort of grassy feel you get with this as it develops. It has a nice wateriness too. Again, not really like aquatic in the way that I'm used to with other fragrances, but it kind of reminds me of like maybe a marshland or something. So it is a nice one. I do enjoy this one a lot, and of course the price is fantastic. You can get this one for about $30, which I think is a steal for what it is. If you like vetiver, if you like vetiver fragrances, this is one to check out. On Monday, I wore Moonlight in Heaven by Kilian. This is one that I also really like. I love the coconut in this one. And one of the best things about this coconut is that it doesn't remind me at all of sunscreen, which I find is a really dangerous thing with coconut. So sometimes you get really nice coconut that smells good, and sometimes you get coconut that still smells good, but it does have this sort of sunscreen vibe. And I found I didn't really get any of that with Moonlight in Heaven. What I do find is that it kind of ventures into this kind of coconut kind of cake atmosphere with sort of a fruity top to it. So it is certainly gourmandish. And there is a rice note in there, which I find quite unique as well. And you actually, especially in the opening, get a lot of that rice, which I think it reminds me of like rice drinks. So I did live in Japan for a while, and there's a lot of obviously food with rice, and there are rice-based drinks as well. And the rice note really reminded me of those. It has this sort of sweet, ricey vibe to it. And it's really nice. It's really enjoyable. Of course, it brings back sort of these memories of having fun in Japan and stuff. So I did like that one, and I'm going to do a full review on that one as well, because I do think it's a great release from Kilian. And on Tuesday, of course, I wore Gorse. And this has been described a lot as a sort of Virgin Island water clone, and I think there is definitely that aspect there. It's quite similar, but it is a little bit different in a lot of ways. It does have that sort of fizzy citrus opening, although I do find that the lemon is a lot more pronounced and the lime is much more subdued, although sometimes I definitely get a lime note as well. There is also a little bit of spiciness there that I don't think is in Virgin Island water, and I'll also say that there's really no booziness at all. So it is very, very similar in a lot of respects, but it is definitely different. So if you want an actual clone of Virgin Island water, I don't think this is probably the best choice. It's also pretty hard to get outside of the UK. But it is really nice, and I get pretty good performance. And one thing it does do is that it has this sort of really nice coconut that really just initially starts to open up with a sweetness, and it does mix with the citruses quite well, and then it becomes a lot more dominant as a sweet, creamy coconut vibe. And it is nice. Again, this one doesn't remind me of sunscreen either, so I really like that about this one. And I think it's pretty good. So if you haven't tried Gorse, check it out. You might like it. But anyways, guys, that was my weekly rotation. Looking forward to the next week and a whole new week of fragrances. That's it. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.